So I'm sitting here about to put my video together. I literally just started, and I'm like, oh wait, I might not have to use these older clips, and I might not have to crop them and blank fill them, because if you take a look at my Blu-ray discs here, I have this. The Benizakura movie, but it's only in Japanese, because I accidentally and stupidly ordered it only in Japanese and no English subtitles, but that's okay, because you're not going to want to look at the subtitles anyway when I'm talking through my review, right? Yeah, so I put that disc in to the DVD player right here. But that's the thing. It's a DVD player, not Blu-ray. So, welcome to my Benizakura review without the movie stuff. Oh well. Hello everyone and welcome back. It hasn't been too long since part 4, I hope. Oh. 2 months. What? Oh, well, we're finally here, that's all that matters, right? I sure hope so, because that's what we're doing today, and this is quite a special episode. Many would call it the apex of early Gintama. The arc, some say, is the parts where Gintama truly gets good. That's right, folks, today we're diving headfirst into the Benizakura arc, which covers 9 manga chapters, 4 anime episodes, along with a feature film retelling. Only time I'll ever say that in one of these. Maybe. Yeah, let's be honest, probably. Wouldn't a retelling of the Yagyu arc be a treat, though? In any case, I'm Kazu Trash, and welcome to my review of Gintama's Benizakura arc. Recently, rumors of a terrible Tsujigiri appearance has made its rounds in the city of Edo. Nobody except for the unaware, stupid, or brave dares to leave their home during the night. Not sure which one of those Katsura fits into, perhaps a bit of all of them, but on one late summer night, he unfortunately meets his quick end to said Tsujigiri, Nizo the Butcher. That's right, the main villain of the Infant Strife arc returns more powerful than ever with a brand new sword, the Benizakura. Elizabeth, Katsura's very close director, I don't know, comes to the odd jobs in hopes that they would help find Katsura, because she believes he is not dead. Shin and Kagura are tasked with dealing with that, while Gin leaves to pay a visit to another client, Tetsuya Murata and his sister Tetsuko. Out of the gates, I really did not find myself enjoying Tetsuya when he was on screen. He annoyingly yells a lot. I'm glad that wasn't the whole joke though, because he sometimes can actually hear just fine. We find out he is just being an asshole to Gin for fun, since he does talk normally to him by accident sometimes, which does end up being pretty funny. Definitely not the worst of Gintama. Don't you worry though, we'll get to that in a few minutes. While Tetsuya is kind of a mixed bag with me, honestly I see more negative points in him than positive, Tetsuko on the other hand is great. She's one of my all-time favorite side characters and is definitely not used nearly enough. Tetsuko is mainly pretty stoic, but tries to keep her brother she loves dearly in line, even with his shouting tendencies. Honestly, I just really like the combo of a female character who is a swordsmith. Seriously, how often do you see that? I'd wager close to never. Anyway, the two discuss with Gin about their sword that was stolen, the Benizakura. This legendary sword was forged by their father, who died only 10 days after its completion, so now it's gained in notoriety for being a cursed blade. Hey look, the recycle shop lady, another criminally underused side character. She gives him the hints he was looking for about the Tsujigiri wandering the streets, which I suppose Gin hadn't heard about yet. Looks like he falls under the unaware category, though I'm sure he'd fit perfectly into any of the other ones. Using this newfound trail, Gintoki comes across our butcher in the middle of the night and their rematch commences. One fierce minute later, and Gintoki is impaled by the Benizakura, and oh god, yeah, this is definitely the most damage we've seen Gintoki take so far. His chest now has an actual hole straight through it. How did Gin survive this? I am not kidding you here, Shinpachi literally calls this a mortal wound. Later, Takasugi and Katsura both receive some pretty bad wounds, but they both survive because of their notebooks they respectively had in their pockets, or I guess. So here's where you're like, oh, so Gin survived because of the notebook then. Nope. Gin didn't even have any magical injury-defying notebook on his person. So, while Gin is defying his literal death, Nizo begins monologuing, where I was hoping we could finally learn why he's doing all this. Sadly though, we don't get that. He exclaims he's jealous Gintoki was the one by Takasugi's side during the war, and it would have been much different if he was there instead. Now I'm left wondering, what could have possibly drove him to this point? Why is he so obsessed with killing? What happened in his past? Okay, I guess I'm being a little too harsh because there actually was a reason. It was to see the lights inside them shine right before they died, because he's blind and he can't see normally, so when he kills, he sees their light. I don't know, man, I feel like Nizo could have been used a lot better, or at least fleshed out a bit more, you know? In any case, Shinpachi hurtles himself toward the currently monologuing Nizo and lops his damn arm off. Wow, didn't think he had it in him, but he did, and after that, the cops show up and Nizo runs away from the fights he himself declared was to the death. Back with Kagura now, she gets into a fight with everyone on Takasugi's ship, including Matako, who does the most she'll ever do, if my memory is serving me correctly, and manages to shoot Kagura in the arm. I gotta say, I love Matako's fun and sassy personality along with her awesome character design and unique fighting style. Girl uses akimbo, what's not to love? I'll tell ya what's not to love, this guy, Takechi Hanpeta. Oh boy, okay. Basically, this guy says he's a feminist whenever he is accused of being a pedo, which he 100% is. He is never funny, in my opinion of course, and just sours any scene he's in. If I had to say who my least favorite character in all of Gintama is, it would be this guy. After a quite disgusting scene where Kagura and Matako were spitting phlegm at each other for some reason, some got on Takechi and he didn't wipe Kagura's off. Oh god, let's move on. Oh god. Oh, okay, so it's kind of funny. After that disgusting mess of a scene comes one of my favorite moments in all of early Gintama. After Shinpachi drags Gintoki back home, probably with the help of the police, you know, that's a little weird. Why didn't Shinpachi take him to the hospital? This seems like it's the moment to do that, but I guess it's fine because Otai may as well be a doctor. That's, or something even better than a doctor, because when we see him, he's bandaged up a ton, but it really appears like he just broke a rib or two. I mean, look at the way he moves in the final battle later on. Does this look like a guy who was just impaled by an alien sword not even 24 hours ago? In any case, Tetsuko informs Gintoki here about Tetsuya's dealings with Takasugi, and now Gin realizes his ultimate plan to destroy Edo. She pleads with Gintoki to save her poor brother, and leaves after he declines. Later on, you can tell Otai doesn't want to leave Gin alone, because when she does, Gin will begin an attempt to fight the monster that is Nizo alone, despite his injuries. Out of pure desperation and also some respect for Gintoki, Otai does just that. He grabs his clothes she left for him along with her favorite umbrella, and the best insert song I've ever heard, Bangia Blues, fades in. I felt a bit of melancholy as this scene played out. There is nobody else to rely on in this situation. Gin truly is their last hope, so injuries and all, he marches to the battlefield once again. Meanwhile, Katsura's men are bombarding Takasugi's ship for revenge, so Taka tells Nizo to deal with it. Nizo obliges and gets onto his battle air horse and shouts, "I'll destroy everything." Yeah, I don't know, I'm not really feeling Nizo as much as I did back in the Infant Strife arc. Later, he even reverts to being a literal mindless monster, and we discover his dream was to become a sword that protects Takasugi. Something happened to Nizo to drive him to this point, but what was it? Maybe he just enjoys killing for the sake of killing and there was no impetus. Anyway though, let's move on. While the bombardment is happening, Elizabeth saves Kagura and Shinpachi from falling off a cliff, but right after she's beheaded by Shinsuke. What? Oh god. Nah, actually, it's just Katsura, who I have to say looks awesome with shorter hair. Something that always annoyed me a bit though is the next time we see Katsura, he's back to having long hair. Like, what the hell? At least show it once more after the arc. I will say though, it is pretty funny that they mention it in the episode preview that his hair is either growing extremely fast or he's wearing a wig, so that's cool. So now Gintoki has finally arrived to fight Nizo, and we receive this godly screenshot of Gin, with his brand new sword forged by Tetsuko, which looks outstanding. Their fight is beautifully animated both in the original TV anime and the spectacular movie. During their battle, we learn Benizakura is a sword which evolves and takes data from the current fight and implements it in its own fighting style. I realize it's a generic way of dealing with enemies that evolve while fighting to say, he's improving faster than the enemy can evolve. But it sure as hell works at getting those goosebumps appearing. Oh man, I love these scenes. It gets overshadowed a lot, but we can't just not mention Kagura's insane skill in her fight as well. She awakens observation haki and literally catches all of Matako's bullets, 2 in her hands and 1 between her teeth. As soon as she's about to take Matako out, Gintoki and Nizo burst through the ceiling and then Gin gets trapped inside Benizakura. With the help of Shinpachi, Kagura, and Tetsuko, Nizo is eventually defeated by Gintoki, but at a cost. To protect his sister, Tetsuya interrupts an attack from his own creation and receives a terrible blow. The scene where Nizo and him simultaneously pass away breaks my heart. You hear Tetsuya's once loud, booming voice juxtaposed with his now near silent, fading last words as he's dying in his sister's arms. Along with that, Sorachi continues to pile on the sadness, as you bear witness to Gintoki's pure sorrow clearly spelled out on his expression. He did not want to kill anymore, and witnessing Gintoki forced to do that is just downright depressing. Enough with the sad talk though, because directly following that absolutely crushing scene is another goosebump-inducing, adrenaline-pumping, and hype-generating masterpiece. Okay, listen. I know I said Banjia Blues is my favorite insert song ever, but how the hell could I not mention Bakuchi Dancer? You know Sunrise wasn't screwing around when they introduced not 1, but 2 insert songs that can easily contend for the best insert song of all time. Gintoki and Katsura fight their way through hordes of the Harusame pirates with some immensely fun and enjoyably badass dialogue exchanged between the 2 longtime friends. They escape via parachutes, and that is what concludes our final episode. So, I'd say it lives up to its renown as being one of the arcs where Gintama truly gets good. Obviously, it's not like I wasn't having a good time before in the other arcs, but this time it was just a step up. Like the 2 insert songs, the incredible animation, everything, it's just, whoa. Like, if you were watching Gintama, spoiler-free, without any expectations, and you just saw this, it'd be like a brand new world. I kind of just mentioned it, but everything it wanted to do, it did amazingly. Animation was unlike anything we've ever seen up to this point. Even just the TV version, which they even redid as a movie, which, oh, that looks awesome. I might still review that at some point, but for now, we're just gonna stick to the TV versions. The only thing I can say I didn't really like about this arc was, 1, Nizo fell a little flat, but he was still awesome. He's a blind samurai with a goddamn mechanical sword. Like, that's cool as hell. But besides Nizo, the comedy didn't hit. The comedy wasn't for me at all. I really didn't like it. There were a very few amounts of moments where I was like, this is sick, this is awesome. I mean, I wouldn't be saying that because I'd be laughing, but you get the point. The comedy wasn't really for me, but it might have been for you. Comedy is really subjective, so there you go. So even with that comedy, the worst comedy Gintama has seen so far, in my opinion, I think it still deserves an 8.5 out of 10. It's definitely the best arc we've seen up to this point, so do you agree with me? Do you not? Probably not. Maybe not. I don't know. Anyway, that's about it. If you want to see more of me, I got some Pokemon lore stuff in my other playlists on my channel, and I also have more Gintama reviews, of course. But that is about it, so I will see you in the next one. Later.